So, listeners, there's something you should know. I am Lou's father's, brother's, cousin's, nephew's former roommate, which means absolutely nothing. You have the ring, and I see that your Schwartz is as big as mine. Now, let's see how well you handle it. There is only one man who would dare give me the raspberry. Lou Diamond.
Want to learn from those that are taking their lives, their businesses, and their passions to the next level? Best-selling author of Master the Art of Connecting and professional speaker Lou Diamond is here to connect you to some of the most inspiring and amazing people on the planet. Get ready to thrive loud with Lou Diamond.
Welcome, everyone, to another spectacular episode of Thrive Loud with Lou Diamond, connecting you to the most inspiring and amazing people that are thriving each and every day. I'm your host, Lou Diamond. Today on Thrive Loud, we have the founder and CEO of InitiateU, who has revitalized mailer marketing campaigns, resulting in propelling the growth of his own business from like 800,000 to like 8.5 million in 2021. How is this even possible in this day and age? We got to understand it. We got to peel it back. All of his growth he credits to organic marketing efforts and word of mouth. And since this is a word of mouth show, because it's a podcast show and you're listening, let's dive in and connect with the man whose name is just synonymous with podcasting, Barry Gabster. Barry,
hey, how we doing, everybody?
You ready to gab away with me today?
Let's gab away. You know, it's funny you say that because when a lot of people say, how do we spell that? And I'm like, it's like Gabster, like I talk too much. It's very simple. So hopefully I won't talk too much this time.
No. I would love you to speak to the audience and I'd love to connect with them because I want to understand. I'm going to ask a couple of questions here and drill back, but I kind of want to rewind a little. I don't want to go all the way to the womb, Barry, but I want to go back far enough that we understand how this specifically became your gig, because this is an interesting niche that you are focused on.
Right. So not going back to the womb, but, you know, we kind of talk about you spoke about the word of mouth and building my business to this level, right? So actually my birthday was on Wednesday. So
Happy birthday.
My mother was over and I actually got to talking with her and she brought up the fact that I was a child actor. And so I did a lot of, obviously casting calls, running up to LA, meeting people, sitting in front of audiences, and just trying to be the light of the show, right? And so at the early age, I just started talking a lot, right? You know, shaking hands and kissing babies, essentially at age 6 to 9, 6 to 10, right? It just kind of became something that I did, and so, anyways. That's kind of how I just grew into this thing and was able to kind of help push the business to the levels that it's been pushed, right? I think a lot of people often say, so you're in advertising, and it's the most ironic thing. I'm in advertising, but I don't actually advertise my advertising agency, like, and I guess that you could just kind of go with the fact that, a lot of the clients and people that I work with have just been friends of mine and friends of friends. And, and I just do my best not to ever, burn bridges. Right. And so, I mean, I think that's kind of been the key to a little bit of my success, is just that if there's ever an issue, I'm always quick to jump on that grenade. Right. And fix whatever it may be,
So Barry, totally get the word of mouth component and the organic growth. What I'm having the issue on, and this is what I'm kind of amazing, and the word that I read in the opening here, revitalized,
right?
Mailer marketing campaigns. Okay, so let's just talk about the product and the services that you're offering.
Sure.
Because a lot of people heard that and go, really, those things that we get, those things that still come in the mail, I want to understand more, and tell me how this thing's being used.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, I mean, ever since I have been, it started about 2006. I was a loan officer. I was taking leads, over the phone. I worked for companies such as like LendingTree, and LendingTree, of course, is a giant lead aggregator for online. Of course, you used to see their commercials: when banks compete, you win. right? But on top of that, they also had their online presence, right? And so I would say between, between 2006 through 2000, really till now, you've seen this massive wave of online and digital marketers, curating these leads from the web, right? That's like the new big thing, right? You'll see tons of people flooding the marketplace right now because they've got digital marketing agencies. And so, being that I was a loan officer at one time, I really got tired of every 30 days, I'd have to meet a new group of people, right? I'd have to process a brand new pipeline of people. And I'm like, this isn't really what I want to do. I don't want to meet a new group of people every 30 days. And so I was like, why don't I just find a way to make the phone ring, right? And if I could do that and actually come close to what the expectations are, then I can work with all my friends that are in the mortgage business, right? And so really it came down to that. And during that time when I was taking leads as a loan officer, there was the web, or the web leads where people actually fill out the forms. But they were hard to get a hold of, because you're chasing these people, right? So these people, they fill it out online. And if you don't call them within 1 to 2 minutes from them filling it out online, they've got up from their computer, right? And they went to go pick up Johnny at the daycare, right? And so then you call them, and then they're on the off ramp, and they're too busy to talk. And so then I was stuck trying to like catch up with people, and they say, hey, I know that you supplied some information online, how can I help you? Oh, well, I can't talk right now. I'm like, well, great, that doesn't really work out. So the opposite side of that is there's direct mail, which the archaic direct mail or junk mail that we all get in the mail that 90% of it gets thrown away. The people that actually save that mail, right? They you think about it. You walk to your mailbox, open the mailbox, you walk in the house, you set your keys down, you rifle through it, you throw away what you want to throw away, and then you keep what you're going to get back to, right? Have dinner with the kids, what have you, and then the following day you go to your office and it sits there, and then finally you're like, you know what, I'm going to take that 20 minutes and make a phone call on this, right? With advertising, I'm always trying to curate a question or a why with my mail creative, because that why gives them the purpose and the reason to pick the phone up, right? And so they pick the phone up to ask the questions why, but they've now allotted that 10 to 20 minutes to get the question that they're calling about, right? And so now we know that those people are calling in and they've got that time to spend. They're not on the off ramp, right? And so you now have a legitimate time to have a decent conversation with somebody and potentially, convert them into a sale. And that's really why I like direct mail so much. It's really just a higher converting lead, right? You get more quality time with these people. Yes, of course, you get one shot to build rapport with them on the phone. But it's a lot better than, the wife going to pick up Johnny, on the off ramp, right? Who's in a rush to get off the phone. So I've actually spent my entire career now selling against the digital marketers, just because I'm able to tell people specifically, hey, if you give me $5,000 or whatever the budget is, I believe that I will be able to get you X amount of calls. Whereas with the digital marketing agency, they're like, well, give me, it's going to take 90 days. I'm going to need you to pay $5,000 a month for 90 days. And then, of course, the question becomes, well, what will I get in 90 days? And the answer for a digital marketing agency, and nothing against them, I'm not bashing digital marketers. They all have their purpose, branding, so on and so forth. I use it today with some of my campaigns. But the point of the matter is a lot of them will say, well, I don't really know what I can get you, right? Mm-hmm. And so it makes it a lot easier knowing when you're handing somebody money, what type of return you're going to get out of that spend,
So this is an interesting question, Barry. And I realized this the other day. Has the shark jumped the shark? Have we jumped the shark in digital marketing from this aspect of it? Recently, I received a handwritten letter from somebody, and I read it, I saw it, and I thanked the person. I appreciated it. And we remember how much handwritten mail we used to get years and years ago.
And pals.
Yeah. Well, have we gotten out of the point that we're coming back in that world because we're just so overloaded with digital marketing and email communications that the stuff that is physically getting in our hands is now actually maybe more impactful?
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think that's kind of what it is. I think a lot of people in maybe not the millennials, the ones growing up that have really never had a pen pal or written a letter, right? Because they're just text messaging. But I think that older generation, the ones that are actually making financial decisions, those ones, they miss going to the mailbox. That used to be, well, actually, I've talked to plenty of clients. And, during COVID, when everybody's stuck in the house, I had somebody tell me, Barry, I walked out to the mailbox twice today just to get up and walk to the mailbox, hoping something was in there, And I think that's kind of what it is. I mean, again, I don't have a crystal ball or anything like that, but I believe there has been an influx of digital marketing agencies that come to the fore, that come out. They're making great money, of course. But I think that those digital leads are getting a little watered down a little bit, and again, it goes back to that whole chasing somebody, right?
Yeah.
And as opposed to allowing them to call you, right?
So when it comes to this type of messaging that you're coming in, do you think you've hit something in a bottle in this very short window of time, or you're starting to see momentum continue moving forward from what you saw last year?
Yeah. So, a lot of my clients tend to be in the mortgage business, mortgage refinance business. So it is, of course, it's the interest rates affect response rate, right? Basically, response rate, for anybody who doesn't know, is this, how many mail pieces go out divided by how many people actually call in, right? So that's how we manage and maintain our business. Doesn't matter how many pieces you send out, that response rate, kind of the ticker for us, right? It kind of tells us if we have a successful campaign or not. So, back to that point, yeah, it's slowed down a little bit, but it's really not. See, what happens is when the rates go up a little bit is in the mortgage business is I end up getting more calls because people can't call their old clients that they've already done business with. Right. So I end up getting more clients during this time because they really need help trying to figure it out. Right. And that's kind of where I come in and help, let them know and be completely transparent where response rates are, or what types of calls we're seeing, and so on and so forth. I mean, and I think that's kind of like what separates me to some of my competitions is that you get a little bit more of a handheld experience with me. It's almost like I'm a fractional CMO, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I want to make sure that those clients are with me for 52 weeks of the year. So, I'm not like, we don't do okay, that was a good campaign. Sorry it didn't work for you.
See you, goodbye.
Shake hands, goodbye. See you around. We're kind of in business together. And if they're, so if they're failing, I'm failing. And that's really not what I want to do. I want to win in life, right?
Let's go through these roles that you have and the hats that you wear. I have a question on this. Obviously, you run a company, you strategize with your clients, you execute on the campaigns, you get to look at the analytics to see the roles, and obviously you're selling all of this together. Barry, which of these hats do you like wearing most often?
That's a good one. Well, I mean, I think at the end of the day, I think my favorite job is just talking to people. I kind of plug myself as a conversationalist in a sense but I just really truly like people, right? And I think that's what I enjoy the most just in life in general. I'm a social butterfly. My wife hates it when she goes out of town because she's like, well, now you get to relax. And I'm like, no, actually I get to go have dinner with all the friends that I didn't get to because you wanted to hang out with me. Nothing against my wife. She's like, you're more busy when I'm out of town when you should be getting more rest. I'm like, no, I'm just catching up with friends that, I don't always get to. But yeah, I'm a people person. That's really what it comes down to. I like having the conversations with people. And of course, building a plan and strategizing, with my clients and I call them my friends too. Anyways, with my clients and of course, executing on it, right? There's nothing better. There's nothing better than putting a plan together and having it, having it actually work out. And I think sometimes the problem is that when you're actually successful, and the campaign's working, they don't actually end up calling you anymore and thanking you, right? It's a thankless job, quite frankly. I make the campaign work, it executed, and then I get no phone calls. Nobody wants to talk to me anymore.
That's pretty funny.
But then, of course, when it's not working, then my phone's blowing up and we got a problem. So anyways,
Totally.
It is what it is.
Barry, you've been successful throughout your career, even as I'll ask this in the Fun Street question about some of your early work when you were acting. But throughout your career, you've been an entrepreneur and you're successful and you're doing what you love and you're helping people out, which means on most days you're thriving. However, we all have those days where the clients are calling us and it's not a good day and we're not kicking on all cylinders.
Right.
Barry Gabster, when you have trouble thriving, who or what practice do you seek to get yourself back on the thriving track?
So that's a great question. I mean, and funny you say that. I've been on this, in Q1 of this year, I've been traveling like a banshee, just out there shaking hands, kissing babies, and really just trying to build my momentum for Q2, Q3, Q4, the balance of the year. And I strategically planned it that way in Q4 to make sure that I'm out there going to Dallas. I have a group, a networking group that I'm a part of entrepreneurs, and we get together and help fill each other's cups and kind of trade stories and how we can help each other out. And anyways, point is I've been running and gunning so hard in Q1 to build the momentum for my year that I'm exhausted right now. In my normal routine, if all is working well, when I'm thriving, I don't laugh at this, but I always get a massage on Monday at 11 a.m. I tell everybody I'm at the doctor, though, just so you know. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. Everybody's going to call me out on that.
Everyone listening now, he's not. He's a very special doctor. Yeah.
Oh, I see where my money's going. So yeah, Monday is a massage at 11 a.m. I think it's really right that we get our mind right and our body right first and foremost before we can actually take care of everybody else. So traditionally Monday's a massage. I work with a naturopathic doctor who, checks my blood levels, identifies what vitamins I'm deficient in. So she's got me on a combination of different supplements to help build those different vitamin levels so that I could be mentally clear and where I need to be. And then, I have a personal trainer I work out with on Tuesdays and Thursdays. On Wednesdays, I do a running class. Or I work out with my old neighbor in his gym because we established that during COVID. The garage workouts became a real big thing during COVID times. So we've kept it going. So yeah, I do a workout Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday tends to slow down and kind of wrapping up the week. And of course, probably step out with the wife for a nice dinner. And let me not forget, I also see a chiropractor twice a week.
Wow.
If I do those things, if I get my massage, I get 3 workouts in and 2 chiropractic visits, I've mind, body, all that is working, right? And I'm pumping on all cylinders. And that's how I'm able to have gotten where I'm at today. I mean, that combination of things is really the secret to keeping it going, right? Not being too overly ran down.
Spectacular. Let's do the admin part of the show, Barry, and then we'll get to Fun Street here. Share with the listeners all the places people can find you, websites, URLs, learn about InitiateU. We will put it in the show notes, but it always gets more engagement when they hear it from you. Yeah,
of course. You can find me on Instagram at Male Guy Gabster. And again, that's Gabster like I talk too much, right? So male, M-A-I-L, guy, G-A-Y-G-U-Y, Gabster. Male Guy Gabster, Instagram, or you can catch me at my website, which is InitiateU with the letter U.life. And of course, you can find me on Facebook, just Barry Gabster. And lastly, I do have a book that's being launched in April. It's actually the first book that I'm a part of, finally going to be a published author, which is the $1 million, The $1 million Personality. Sorry.
Oh, nice.
So the $1 million Personality is coming out here very shortly in April. Very excited about that. We're doing a book launch in Times Square at the Knickerbocker Hotel. And hopefully, Lord willing, I'll become a best-selling author. We'll see.
Well, excellent.
Appreciate all the support there.
I'm going to have to pop by Times Square and check it out. You'd let us know.
You might have to.
What's that launch date? What's the launch date? So we put it in the notes so everybody knows.
I believe it is April 9th. I have to get back to you on that one. I don't want to misquote that one.
Listeners will know it'll be in the show notes thereafter. We'll put it in.
There we go. Perfect.
Permission to go down Fun Street, Barry.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. We talked about this at the top of the show. I want to kick things off. Share with the listeners one of your all-time favorite movies.
So all-time favorite movies, I would have to go with, it's a combination of we got a little bit of the gangster vibe. We've got The Godfather 1 for sure is just a classic. I mean, there's no two ways about it, right? And then you've got to go with Goodfellas. And then rounding it out, I'm a baseball fanatic, huge Dodger fan. Love the movie 42, Jackie Robinson. Yeah. Actually, 42. I knew it was going to be a big year for me, which was last 2021. And it's not because I'm a Dodger fan of Jackie Robinson. Actually, that's exactly why I thought it was going to be a big year. So I went with that and it worked, right? So anyways, 42, Jackie Robinson, Sandlot, and Field of Dreams. I often quote, if you build it, they will come. And that's solely from Field of Dreams. So we continue building, my friend. And
he keeps building by word of mouth and by product alone. Right? Awesome.
Yep.
Barry, we're going to do the speed round here on Fun Street here on Thrive Loud. And you will handle this. I know you can.
I'm a little nervous now.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to share with you. I'm going to ask you a question. Okay. I want the first thing that comes to your mind. These are things that motivate you, that lift you up, that make you feel good, that basically make you thrive. Which means there are no wrong answers. So whatever you say is right. Is that ready? Of late, a song that you love to listen to, or maybe one that pumps you up.
I would say Rise Against, Survivor Guilt.
Oh, wow. Favorite food that's not a dessert?
Oh, I got to go pizza.
Okay. A favorite dessert?
Anything with caramel.
Oh, that's good. An activity you wish you did more of?
Play softball.
Okay. An activity you wish you did less of?
Less of. Shoot, I drink cold beer.
Not drinking cold beer. You want to drink less cold beer?
It's just refreshing. Sometimes you need them. Maybe I do it a little bit too much.
All right, I got you. If I were to snap my fingers, Barry Gabster, and you can go anywhere in the world, where are you?
Iceland. Iceland has been, I visited Iceland, and I got to tell you, it's really grabbed a hold of my heart, that place.
Wow. It's
not that far of a flight, and it's like you're in a completely different world, that quick. Just like you said, snap your fingers. It's a great place.
I like it. The last question is, you have mentioned early on, you were a child actor. Were there commercials? Was it photos?
Not
something that we would know?
Not a ton. I did a Kmart commercial, which ran during the 1988 Olympics. That was probably the biggest commercial that I did. Had the most lines in it. There was a Chick-fil-A commercial. I think we did that at the Ontario Mills Mall. There was only one Chick-fil-A in California at that time. And they did a commercial and I was in it. It was probably the longest day of my life. I don't know how many bites of a chicken sandwich one kid could take. Lord have mercy. At the end during the day, I was spitting it out into buckets. It was classic. And then they had to open the toy store across the way, the KB toy stores, just to make me smile because I was so fed up with the commercial and the whole process of it,
Barry Gabster, conversationalist, revitalized male marketer, here to connect with you and help you to grow. And if you build it, he will come. Thank you so much for coming on the program here today.
Awesome. Thank you, Lou. I appreciate you, my man.
You got it. And to all our listeners out there, keep moving onward and upward. And remember, be brief, be bright, be gone.
You've been listening to Thrive Loud with your host, Lou Diamond. Check us out on the web at thriveloud.com and follow us on Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook at Thrive Loud. And check us out on the Good Pods app at Thrive Loud, where you can follow, listen, and connect directly to Lou and all of the Thrive Loud episodes. Thanks for listening.